Sean, thanks very much indeed for your time. Starting in the first with both Africa Rock and Rigodora. No fireworks just yet, but you must be looking for improvement.
Yeah, I think we should see improvement from both. African Rock, I think his last run is best ignored. There was an incident in the race which he just threw in the towel. I think he'll run a much better race. And Rigodora has been a little disappointing, but I think the penny's going to drop soon. And when it does, you'll be okay.
If you'll allow me the pun, humour me in the first race.
First off, I hope everybody had a good Christmas, and we did in the stables. While everybody's partying, we're still working, but don't want to sound like a sob story, do we? But Humour Me, a nice little horse. Not yet, though. I think it's more of an educational run, probably bred for twice this trip. Ideal World out of a Fort Wood mare. But a nice little horse, and maybe like back end of quartets.
Both with lively chances, I would think. Fort Carroll and Nizak.
Yeah, Mr. Bond, Fort Carroll, he's been doing nicely. He's been pretty consistent of late. Look, Gavin rode him last time. He knows him pretty well. So, he does sport blinkers as well as Nizak. So I don't see why he can't be competitive there. Nizak, he's been slightly disappointing in his last two efforts, but maybe the blinkers will get him more keen and into the race, and so he can finish off his race nicely. But I mean, I'm expecting decent runs from both of them.
Lovely. Then Aurora Australis and Changing Seasons and Wild Path represent you in the second of the afternoon. Aurora Australis won well, but there hasn't been too much fireworks out of that form line just yet.
I think he's got ability, and his temperament is his biggest problem, in that he really doesn't put it in, and things have to go a certain way for him. He seems to love the course and distance, and that's what I'm banking on. He is up in class, but I think I am expecting a good run. And Changing Season, I think, would also appreciate the course and distance. Maybe the straight mile didn't suit him in the slow run race. And Wild Path has just come out of his two assessment plates, and I think he'll be running on.
Yeah, Dabian returned from a break last time with a very good second. Look, he's definitely come on from his run. He's also has got loads of ability. I think if the second run after layoff doesn't find him out, which I don't think it will, he can definitely be competitive in that field.
Okay, from Wild Path to Wildfire in race 3, first leg of the place accumulator.
Horse that's been thereabouts. I think when the penny drops with him, he's going to win a good few races. He's going to be a nice stayer. He is, even though he's a 4-year-old, he is still learning, but he's got an each-way chance.
Sand Princess, obviously she's got Silver Thursday and quite a few others in the race, but her form is consistent.
Yeah, I suppose it depends on the top horses. If the top-rated horses bring their A game, then obviously we're just running for a place. However, I think the step up in trip for this filly may be significant, and she did win a sprint, this filly, so we are a little bit confused, but at the end of the day, I think she'll run well.
Stepping up to 2,000 metres in the fourth race of the afternoon. Her maiden victory was a very solid form line, and she was anything but disgraced in the Ready to Run Cup.
Yeah, look, we think that she's a nice progressive type of filly. Having said that, this is a very competitive field, and I think we've always had in mind that we would like to step her up to this type of distance, and we thought this would sort of be where she'd be at her best. So I think bumping a field of this caliber and at the distance we'd like to run her over is going to give us a good line of where we're going to go through the rest of her 3-year-old career.
Yeah, she's doing well. I'm mildly disappointed with her effort at the Vaal. She looked like she might pick up the eventual winner and ended up running fourth. I'm not sure if that long straight really was her cup of tea. She's got quite a nice turn of foot and probably better suited to TURFFONTEIN. On the upgrade, but obviously a little bit, well, we appear to be out at the weights with, some of those more fancied runners, but I think an inclusion in, all kind of bets.
Yeah, Freya, she's been pretty consistent as well in the assessments, her last 3 starts. Certainly a filly that's quite capable of winning a race of that nature. Look, she's well within herself and she's had plenty of work, so look, a forward run also expected there.
And obviously her stable companion is the one that's got all the class, and if she brings her A game, it's race over.
Yeah, for sure. She obviously needed her first 2 starts after a nice layoff. She was still on the big side last time as well. So, but she's trimmed up nicely, and her work's been pretty decent. Obviously, the triple obviously suit her. She's looking for this type of trip. Gavin on, he knows the filly. So yeah, we're expecting obviously a good run from her.
Okay, then you're represented by Missouri and Throng in race 5, first leg of the jackpot.
Two horses that have come along the right way. They've had their 2 prep runs and they're both on their peak run. Yeah, it's hard to single either one of them out. I think it's a nice coupling and they'll both be in the finish.
Yeah, major return, 1800, probably, I would say, just short of his best. He is a horse that is going to be looking for further. We have got a bigger plan ahead with him, and this is just a stepping stone in the progress to the main race that we're aiming him towards. And yeah, the field looks like it's competitive over this type of trip. If it was over further, I would be a little bit more confident, but I think he will be running on strongly towards the latter part of the race.
Once again, I think possibly a furlong too far for him last time. Looked like he was going to challenge. Back over 1800, Gavin on him, nice draw. Definitely not out of it, working very well, and yeah, I'm hoping to see him pick up his second win soon, because he really has. He's knocked on the door against some good type of horses, and he's overdue.
Okay, and then finally Hakeem. I was at the Vaal watching the race with MATTHEE the last time, and he almost beat himself, but his day's got to come soon.
Yeah, for sure. He's doing well, well within himself. He's been pretty honest, and he's, like I say, he's doing well, and the form line sort of worked out, So, yeah, I look from a good draw. Looks like the right type of race for him. Yeah, I've got to be pretty confident that it'll be in the finish.
So it does look like Team KOCK have got a very strong hand this Saturday.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of our horses are doing well at the moment. These horses running on Saturday have been prepped nicely for these races, so we're expecting a decent day.
Marvellous. Then on to the 6th race, where you represented by Orivar.
Yeah, if I had to single out a horse on the card for us that I thought would probably be our best runner on the day, or one for punters to follow, it would be this horse. He's been running consistently. He came out of his last run well. This looks like the right type of race for him. Gavin's really at the top of his game at the moment. His strike rate speaks for itself, and I think that this horse will go really close.
You must have been very well pleased with the return of Down to Zero. He ran a cracking race last time out, and in the same breath, scratching your head with Riverine.
Yeah, you've pretty much summed it up there. Down to Zero has come out of the run well. Second run after rest, always something you plays with you in the back of your mind. But we haven't had to do much with him, because we tried to have him as fit as we possibly could, bring him back after the long layoff going into the Golden Loom, and he didn't disappoint. So we're expecting him to be competitive. Riverine, Gavin got off the horse and he gave us fairly good feedback last time, and we worked out that's probably why he ran in the manner which he did. There was actually nothing wrong with the horse, just certain things in the race didn't go our way, and then it was sort of a comedy of errors. And we're hoping that doesn't happen on Saturday, because we've got the horse in a really good space and we're expecting him to run a good race.
Then Summer Afternoon, she could only but win. She's in a race with quite a few talented fillies. Looks like she could run well.
Yeah, on ratings, we're in trouble, but it is an assessment plate, and obviously the handicapper can get a better idea after this. However, she could only win, as you say, and I think she's a nice type of filly that's going to keep on improving, so I am expecting a decent showing.
And then Royal Italian ran in a race in which you were victorious. We know he's got ability, and obviously this looks like a race that he could be very effective in.
It's funny, he's a horse that we felt was desperate to be gelded, but yet as a colt he was actually holding his form very well. The gelding, I won't say has had an adverse effect, but I think he's obviously needed time to get over the gelding, more time than we realised. However, his last run was a good run. I think he was the fastest finisher in the race, and I think he's going to build on that now.